Let's talk about how to set up a brand new song. So let's say I've picked a song, and the song I'm going to pick, which I've already done, is All of a Sudden. So typically you'd be in multi-tracks, and let's just talk about buying a track real quick. When you find your track, you go to buy it, make sure you buy the M4A version, just because that little $4 I don't think is really worth it. M4A sounds pretty good. It also saves on space, which is actually the biggest thing. So you've bought your M4A track, you download it. Always download it in the original. The original is the best place to start because of the way vocals are transposed. It's easy enough to do it just in Ableton by itself. So let's say we've downloaded it. What you'll find is a folder, obviously in the downloads, but I've already moved it into the multi-tracks folder, unzipped it, and you won't see this project file here, you'll see this multi-track project file here. So you open that, it will say, do you want to repair this? Say yes, and that's just purely just a fix between older versions of Ableton and newer. And then this is the session that we get from multi-tracks. So the first thing I would do is to come over option Command B. Now we've got our multi-tracks folder here, we've got sessions, and we've got templates. In templates we've got 2024 template project folder, and here's a new song template that we can drag in. So we drag that up to the top over here in your channel strip view, and what that's going to do is also come over here and plonk in, I hit tab to come over here, and just get rid of the browser for now. And I've got some click files here. So we're in 4.4, so I'm going to grab the 4.4 and copy it. Come over to my click channel up the top and paste it. And then I'm going to duplicate it all the way to the end. Beautiful. I'm going to select all of them, Shift Select, join them, Command J. Now I've got my click track ready. I'm going to start dragging up different channels and deleting ones that I don't need. So I don't need my click track anymore. I'll drag up guide to guide audio. That's what AU stands for. MIDI is when we make our own MIDI guide. So I can drag up drums. I've got percussion and percussion live. I think what I actually did is I looked through some of these because live we can sort of just have a listen. Now you can imagine that kind of snare roll might be a bit much to add on top of the drums that we already have playing in the server. So I actually deleted that, and I wasn't too worried about it because sometimes it's best not to add too many things in, you know what I mean? So I'm going to delete guide, drums, perc. Now I've got bass. I always put bass after synth bass. So there's synth bass. Now I've got 5 channels of guitar, and I'll go through them, but not now. I'm just going to drag the ones I can drag. Piano, organ. Now we keep organs separately because occasionally it's good to have one of the keys players actually playing the organ. Strings are separated. Now we've got probably too many vocals. I'm going to grab choir. We've got a separate choir. Oops. Sorry, mistakes. Just drag that up. Now these BGBs. Do I need both? I reckon that one's live. Alright, so you've got sopranos, you've got tenors. We probably need both. So what I'm going to do is group these, call it BGVs, and then I'm going to have to print them out later. Just deleting tracks I don't need. Now, guitars. What are we doing? So, looks like an EG3 here. Cool sounds. So we can group those, call them EG3. What's he doing here? That might end up being a bit too much. There's our EG1 part. There's our EG2 part. What I might actually do is put him there. I don't think I will use him. Now I'm going to group those and print them out together. So, just before you do, make sure if you are soloing that you turn off solo, and you can see all the orange things on. Now you're going to hit loop, get a selection of start to finish. Then you're going to select the groups. So I'm hitting Command and selecting those 2 groups. Command Shift R gives you export selected tracks only. Don't worry about any of that. Don't do an MP3. So we're doing a WAV, and we're going to chuck it in, what's this song even called? All of a sudden. Chuck it in a folder here and call it group. And then all of a sudden is the acronym. So we'll do that. It's going to export those two files, and then it's actually going to, what do you call that? Resample. Boom. So it's done that for us. Now we're going to come and just select these two groups, delete them, and we're left with nothing from the multi-track session originally. We're going to come over to our folder, into the group folder where we just did those two files, and we're going to encode them into M4A. Like I said before, it just saves on space. It's better than WAV in that regard. But if you can hear a difference in the audio quality and you want WAV, I don't know, you've got better ears than me. Anyway, current project, group. That's how we can quickly get to our files for this project. We chuck it right at the start. EG3 goes in there. Now what we want to do is, we've got all our files ready. We want to double click right here, and that creates a clip. And then what you can do is I select, this is just a quick way to do it. I select this clip, and that's giving me that range. And then I go up and hit Command J, and that gives me that song range. And now I'm going to start labeling my sections. I start off with the song name at the start. Actually, before that, we're going to do the same thing here, just in case we want to do the guide track. Now, the other way is, let's just say, you don't understand what I'm talking about. You can drag all the way to the end. You always got to think about ways that make it more efficient and accurate to keep going. Anyway, all of a sudden, I'm going to select right across in one kind of pin stroke across all the clips, right on where your first marker is. And you hit Command E. Now you're going to come across and slice at every marker with Command E. You can see I'm arrowing to the next thing, and if you had a bar that wasn't on the grid, you're going to have to make sure that where you are slicing is where that marker is. So it kind of gives you an overview of the arrangement, and start to put that in your mind. Now what I did just at the end there is occasionally get a little bit of extra data. So what I would come to this end marker, and I go shift and then across, and again, I don't know why again, anyway, and I delete whatever's after that marker. So everything is the same length, because occasionally when you do print out stuff, you will get a little bit extra. You know what I mean? Where's it going? Oh, wow. You get a lot more. You get that much more. So there you go. So that's why I do that. See what I mean? Still there. Alright. So those are the keys to zoom in and out. You can see it's equals. If you look above, it's plus and minus. But without hitting shift, you hit those two keys to zoom in and out. Alright, I've put away my bottom thing. Now I think I'm ready to grab all the files. Hit Command C for copy. I come over to the top here, but before I do, I'm going to prep these scenes. So I didn't need those scenes, so I deleted them. And I prepped them by going and putting in my tempo here. So I just press up and down, and that puts in whatever the actual tempo is currently into the tempo column there. And then you've got the same thing with your BPM. Sorry, time signature. So what you could do is just type it in, and then you hit a 4 there, whatever. You know what you're doing. So I'm going to come to the top left corner, hit Command V, and that's just going to paste them all down. Now I've forgotten a step. Alright, I'm going to go back. I have to edit this out of the video. I knew I've forgotten a step. I like to just keep these sections labeled really broadly. I hit caps lock, so I can just go V for verse, CH for chorus, turn for turnaround, chorus. See what I mean? It's nice and quick. Don't spend too much time on it. 1, bridge 2. So there you go. It's a great way to sort of understand the entire arrangement. Oh, you're going back to bridge 1, are you? Wow. No, I didn't hit it. It doesn't matter if you're super accurate or not. Interlude, verse. You go back to the ending. Now we can grab them all. Copy, come to the top, paste. And we've already done that previous step, so that 63 BPM is set, 4/4 is set, and that is whited in for everyone, which means it's going to trigger all these files at that BPM and that time signature, and you'll be laughing. Alright, so now let's get that out of the way. And let's have a look at our sections, and we're going to start off by labeling our first section with the song name and the key. All of sudden B flat. Whoops, I'll take off caps so I get a small B. Now I'm looking at this column and this highlighted clip here so that I don't get lost, and I'm inputting those section names into here. So what I could do if I'm brave is grab a bunch, and I'm looking over here at what's highlighted, and those are all my choruses. You do 3 choruses in the whole song. Well, return, the verse, and there's a verse down here. The thing I don't want to get confused about is verse and vamp, so that's why I'm writing verse, interlude, 4 bridge 1s, 2 bridge 2s, 2 more bridge 1s, got to do one at the moment there, 3 interludes, 2 outros, and so you can see how when I selected 2 and then I hit Command R, whatever I write in whatever's selected is going to affect the other one as well. So I could go outro and it changes both. Alright, so sections are done, but this isn't going to work yet because we need to do 2 more crucial steps. The first one is follow actions, and when that goes away I'll finally be able to see it. So we want to enable follow actions, and you want to do next, and we turn on link. So that's good. Only other thing is with the click, we don't want that to stop because we want to flow and we want the click to keep going. So we hit the follow action for that and we hit play again, which means it will come to this clip and it will repeat. And if we ever hit this scene, it'll just play the click on its own. So there we go. So when I was on that clip, sorry, you might have seen I hit Command D, and that duplicates it down, automatically creates another scene, and the tempo and the time signature is set. So now I like to set a color in relation to the song a little bit. What is it? All of a sudden, something warmish, brightish. Let's go orange. Another crucial step you don't want to forget is I grab all the audio clips, including the guide, and I turn on warp. This will take quite a while if it's never been done before, which apparently it hasn't. I thought I hit it. Did I hit it? So here we go. Editing, it's only doing those 2 because I've actually done this whole project before. Alright, glorious. And that should be done, is it? No. I might do guide. So warp is on. Now, I'm going to select all the files again and choose the correct algorithm. So we're going to go complex for everything, but you're going to go to your vocals and hit complex pro. Now I'm pretty sure this is done. The only other thing would be over here we have automated clips that reset the faders so that when you go to play a song it sets all the faders to 0. It also turns up the pad, and it also resets the filter. So we can see here there should be 3 lanes. So I'd say, I think 56 is volume, 57 is filter, and 55 might be pad. So anyway, we want it to always play the song with all the faders up. The only thing it doesn't do, which I'm thinking about setting, is getting the click and guide up in that reset clip. So every song resets and plays, has the click and guide ready. And then right at the end, if you are using a pad and you fire this section, I want the pad to come on gradually, and there's that programmed in. 57 is the pad, there you go. Nice little S curve there. So anyway, that's how all that stuff works. But now the song is basically ready to drag and drop. So let's say we save it, and we're gonna go Command Shift S, and that's gonna go save as. And you're typically gonna go Session A, but I'm not gonna do that because I've already done it, and I don't want to redo it again. Anyway, let's not save it. So sad, all that work gone. Sorry, Command D means don't for whatever option it's asking you. Do you want to do this? Command D, don't. Alright, I'm just going to pull up a new session, and the new session always brings in the Sunday ready template. So let's drag, oh well, can't drag in the one I just did, but I can drag in this, sorry, wrong song, and we can double check it. You can play it.
1.
Double check your
2.
warp
Verse.
functions.
2, 3, 4.
Remember, Shift Tab changes the view of this bottom. What do you even call this? If you ever have any questions, hit Shift question mark, and then when you bring up status bar. So Option Command L brings up a status bar that then it'll either show you plugins or it will show you waveforms. So if you're on a waveform that's audio, Make sure complex is on. One mistake is the vocals were not complex pro. But anyway, we're not doing that song. I'm gonna go back and change that before I forget. Grab complex pro. I don't like that thing, so by just hitting question mark, which is shift, you get rid of that little, what do you call this? Info view. See, I'm learning all the time. Glory to God. So there you go, that session's ready to go. Drag in and drop, and it'll work every time.